Good morning, boys and girls. This morning we are going to continue with our poetry reading, and we're going to read some more poems from Thunder Underground. Poetry is a style of writing where writers play with words. Poetry can really be anything. The main purpose for writing poetry is to make a connection with the reader. There really are no rules. And as we saw yesterday, some poems rhyme, some poems don't. Today we're going to talk about some poems that show feeling. Okay? So here we're going to hear some words that suggest feeling. In this poem, the rays of sunshine burst into the room. The sun warmed the top of my head, and a smile spread across my face. The words burst and warmed. I can actually feel those when I read them. The rays of sunshine burst into the room. It's like when you first open the shade on the window and the sun bursts in and it warms you. This one is about a snowflake. Stark white flakes pound the night sky. So this snowflake is angry, it's cold, and it's pounding the sky with ice crystals. It almost makes it so I feel like I can hear that. I can remember the winter when that happened. Poets, and those are people that write poetry, write to connect with their readers. One way they do this is by making us feel with the words they choose. So poets are very special writers because they actually help us feel what they're writing about with the words that they choose. This morning we're going to read a poem called Splunk. And if you do not know what splunking is actually exploring caves, okay? So in this story, we read this one yesterday about underground rivers. And today we're going to read the one right next to it called Splunk. And splunk simply means to explore caves. So you might hear people say, oh, I went splunking. Here, I'm going to fix this for just a minute so that you can see it better. Sorry about that. You might hear somebody say, I went splunking, and that just means that they went exploring in a cave. So as we read this poem together, I want you to think about how it makes you feel. What words are feeling words? Splunk. Go into the mouth of a very large cave. It will feel awfully much like a dark and damp grave. Does that kind of give you a chill, the dark and damp? There are people who will not splunk on a bet, for it all sounds quite scary and dirty and wet. I'm not sure I would like to splunk. And yet, turn on your headlamp. That's like a flashlight on your head. Stone jewels everywhere. Stalactites hang down. So you have to take care. So stalactites are those sharp things that hang down from the top of the caves. Take a breath, take your time, and look wonderingly around at the fairy tale castles so far underground. So the author of this poem says, if you will give splunking a try, it's like living in a fairy tale land with the stalactites look like castles hanging around. So maybe someday you will want to go splunking. There are lots of caves in Utah. Maybe you've already explored some of them. All right, we're going to read two more poems today, and they are called Underground and Understand. They are both compound words, and if you put them together with under, as the first word, and then ground, it means things that grow underground, like the roots of that tree. But if you put under with the word stand, it means knowledge, things that you know. All right? So the words mean two different things with the one word being under. As we read these two poems, I want you to think about how they make you feel, because in just a minute we're going to write about that, okay? Let's read Underground first, and I want to show you the picture of that. Underground, beneath our feet, a world apart, is found our earth's fast-beating heart. It keeps us living, soil and root, while up above, we eat the fruit. So that makes me feel like the earth is alive and the roots keep the heart beating and it grows into a tree that produces fruit for us to eat to help keep us alive. So I kind of like the way that made me feel. Let's read Understand. Knowledge grounds a power base. So seek out knowledge touched by grace. Start below, reach for the sky, and like the caterpillar, fly. Does a caterpillar fly? No, but with the knowledge that we've learned, we understand that a caterpillar turns into a butterfly and flies away. Okay, so it says that knowledge is a power base for us. All right, so what I'd like you to do now is get a piece of paper and pencil or a notebook if you have one. And you don't have to draw what's on this whole paper, but this just says words that suggest feeling. After reading those 3 poems, pick one and talk about the words and how they made you feel. So you can choose which poem you want to write about. Splunk, underground, or understand. And if you need to go back and watch the video again while I read that poem, if it will help you. The one I chose was underground. And I wrote it down here. So the poem I chose was Underground, and I like the words that said, our earth's fast beating heart. And my feelings when I read that was that the earth is alive. If it has a fast beating heart like we do, it's alive. And so those are the words and the feelings I wrote about the poem Underground. So I'd like you to decide which one you like the best and write the words and write how it made you feel. Okay? And you can watch the video again and listen to those poems again if you need to. Thanks for joining me today for our morning story, and we'll see you soon. Bye.